Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Quasimodo, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast, and as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Hello.
Paul's back.
Let's go.
I was gone.
Yeah, you were gone last week.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
who knew?
You remember that?
Who knew?
I didn't know. But yeah, we're back. I should probably say that my name is not referenced to anything in the news. It is referenced to something that is happening in real life, and is continuing to happen in real life, and I hate it. So,
Okay.
but you know, I'll just leave it there because we have so much to talk about this week. It's been a huge week in terms of media. We had a King Gizzard record come out, pretty good. We had the Mario movie trailer come out, pretty epic. And then a lot of movie stuff. Again, I don't know what's going on. Just all the movie studios are like, hey, we're pushing out all of our movies now. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So we'll talk about that. And we have one show thing that apparently is controversial. So we'll talk about that too. But we'll start with gaming. Everybody loves gaming. We talked about
gaming.
We talked
Not
about
me.
D&D last time. We won't talk about D&D this time. It was our most controversial segment.
Yes.
Everyone hated it. So, thanks for
I
the
didn't
feedback.
even see it.
Well, you should listen to the podcast. It's a good podcast.
Nah, too long.
Sometimes I listen to the podcast while I'm editing. And I'll have the podcast finished editing, and then I'll just let it play, and then I forgot that I'm supposed to be exporting it because I'm having such a good time listening to myself talk about the things I talked about the day before.
He really
Does that
is
make me a
as I thought
narcissist?
he-
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Something.
I just think we have great conversations, and I like listening to them.
I like listening to them over and over and over. And
No,
over
I don't
again.
listen to them over and over again.
Over and over and over.
I have not listened to a full podcast,
Oh,
Okay.
I know you have.
except for the first one we did on Spotify, because I thought it was cool that we had a podcast on Spotify, so I did listen to that
Yeah.
one. But enough meta gaming. Let's talk about
Meta.
gaming. Ha! Funny stuff. We got news from everyone's favorite game publisher and developer, CD Projekt Red. They had a big ol' roadmap announcement this week. I think it was like their 15th anniversary, 20th anniversary. I don't know. It was something like that. But they broke down what the immediate future is going to be for their release games, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like when Bethesda was like, hey, over the next 15 years, these are the 4 games we're going to be pushing out. But this one seems to be a little more immediate. I don't know. Probably not. But they confirmed a Cyberpunk squeakquel, which, I don't know if that's what everybody wanted to hear right now. Considering the game is still pretty broken. It's gotten better, but it's still broken. I did see that Cyberpunk has reached its highest concurrent players on Steam since the game's launch. So, good
Because
job.
of the show.
Because of the show. Well, there was a big update, too. So it was kind of like those two things where the update fixed a bunch of things. And so
I was
I
playing.
think people are going back to it, and they're like, it's a new No Man's Sky. Not yet. Not yet.
I mean, the game worked pretty well for me.
It
I feel like I
was-
got a rare case.
Yeah, I think you did.
It worked so well for me. I didn't play it.
See, there you go. Just watch a video, and you'll enjoy it.
I didn't watch a video of it. I don't know anything about the game.
It takes place in a futuristic
City at night.
A
Oh,
city
stop
at
taking me
night.
so seriously.
And the only
And-
successful business in the entire planet is Adam and Eve.
Nice.
The entire city is made up of sex stores and prostitution halls and VR sex things. And then there's like one bar. That's Night City.
Nice.
Pretty
I think
cool.
That's true.
Pretty cool.
Maybe the stuff you were looking for. I don't know.
I'm over exaggerating, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Also, it's not a good game.
no, it's not.
Dang it.
I'm sorry. But if you wanted to play a bad game again, then you could play the sequel coming at an unforeseen time. It sounds like that they've split their dev team in 3, which I don't know if that's the
Nice.
best idea, because they already split in half.
Keep
with
splitting them
Cyberpunk.
up.
Yeah. When Witcher 3 came out, it was just one big studio, and there was like a little tertiary one that was working on Cyberpunk. And then eventually, as The Witcher 3 was getting close to finishing, then they kind of moved people over. But now it seems like they have 3 things going on at the same time. So we'll see how that works. So they've got their Cyberpunk sequel. They announced another Witcher trilogy, which I don't know. I don't know how many people played The Witcher 1 and 2. I know like everybody and their dad has played Witcher 3. So I guess it would be kind of cool to see a new Witcher. I don't know. Also, there's a new IP coming. Why did my notes are not finished? That's embarrassing. I said also new IP Hadar. We don't know anything about it, but I wrote which is set to be very, I don't know.
Are you
What
still
is
an
it?
old version of the doc?
Hadar.
Hey, Dar.
Hadar. It's Hadar. Hadar.
Bill Hadar.
Bill Hadar. Let me see. Hadar, CD Projekt Red. Oh, it's a code name. The project is in earliest stage of creative process, which means we are not developing any game yet, but working exclusively on the foundation for this new setting. Okay, so that one's not in development. So they're just split in 2. So there you go.
Fake news.
It's fake news,
Fake
but I
news.
corrected myself, so I feel like I get
True,
a pass. Unlike GameSpot, which I don't know. I didn't write this down, but I did see that Fandom, which is the company that runs it's like Wikia, that big like every single like fan wiki is on that page. I saw they bought like a bunch of gaming publications, including like GameSpot. And I'm like, okay, that's big. I don't know why Fandom is getting into the gaming journalism side of things, but go off, King. That website is going to be impossible to navigate now because those wiki pages are cluttered with ads all over the place. So, cool. Hey, we got Sony news. Everybody loves Sony, except for
love
Hideo
Sony.
Kojima. I don't know what went wrong with Sony and Kojima, but Kojima has officially jumped ship and is going to Xbox. He fell in love with Phil Spencer. He's like, this is a really cool box. And then Hideo Kojima's like, yes, I love boxes.
Yes.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that. But we do have to talk about Sony stuff. Sony did a big move where they said that their new upcoming PlayStation Live service titles will launch on both PS5 and PC concurrently. So that would mean like, I'm not going to confirm this because we don't know. But it would include like multiplayer games like, assumedly, The Last of Us multiplayer thing that is coming next summer. It sounds like that might be slated for both a PC and a PS5 release on the same day, a la Xbox Game Pass. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a good move. I'm glad that PC is kind of becoming a hub where it's a good alternative to console gaming. Because before it was like, well, you have a PC for PC games, but then you still got to get like a Nintendo Switch, which you still have to still get a Nintendo Switch. But if you wanted to play your PlayStation games or the new Halo game, then you'd have to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation 4. And now it seems like everything's kind of coming to PC, which makes it a good hub. So Nintendo needs to start porting games over to the PC, which will never, ever, ever
Ever.
happen. Nintendo has
I
been
think you can
very...
emulate them very easily.
Yes. I
At
saw...
least.
Again, I didn't write this down, but the Steam Deck, they officially... You can order them without a reservation. And in that trailer where they announced it, one of the games on the library was the Nintendo Switch emulator.
Let's go.
In the official Valve trailer.
That's awesome.
Kind of
They
crazy.
know what's up.
They know what people are using
They
it for.
know.
It's weird because, like, why would you just not get a Switch?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing, that with that specific Switch emulator, you have to input the keys from your Switch games for it to be playable. You can't just
got it.
download ROMs on your Steam Deck.
Got it.
So some people are like, well, it's good because then you can kind of have everything on one handheld device. But then the Nintendo fanboys like, how dare you stand for emulation? You should buy games to support the developers. Don't you know that piracy is not a victimless crime?
It's Nintendo.
It's
Like
Nintendo. Nintendo, like, they're probably going to copyright strike this podcast for
It's a company that will never fail. You are good to pirate
Yes.
as much as you would like.
They just made a movie. And they're going to
Yeah.
be making more movies.
Yeah.
So
Heck yeah.
I think they're fine. Okay? Pirate as much as you want. I guess legally don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying you explicitly should, but there's no moral degeneracy that comes with it.
No, there's no ethical quandaries.
No, there should be no ethical quandaries.
Do it.
Because really, all you're doing, if you're pirating a PC game that's on Steam, then really you're just stealing money from Valve, and Valve is fine. So, there you go. I am pro piracy. Even though personally I do not. I don't know how, and I'm not smart enough to figure it out. And I don't have a VPN. But who knows? Maybe one day. One day when I go to Harvard or something and figure everything out.
Good.
Also, Sony news, Ragnarok has officially gone gold. Hooray! I think we're under a month as of this podcast coming out. I believe Ragnarok comes out on the 9th of November.
I gotta get going.
Yeah, you gotta go. Does
it come out on PC early?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
I got time.
You got time. You got time. You might get it spoiled.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't know where I get it spoiled, honestly. I think I'm fine.
Okay. So you're probably fine. Yes, that comes out on November 9th. I am so pumped. I love God of War. Probably one of my favorite games of the last generation. So, very excited for that. Do I need to explain what going gold means? I know everyone here knows what that means, but should I explain it to the audience? I feel like I've said it before.
No promises.
Yeah,
Everyone
you've said
here
it
actually
before.
knows what it means.
Okay. I appreciate you being honest.
Hey, I didn't say anything.
Hey,
It's
well,
okay.
Don't put anything on me.
So when a game goes gold, that means that the game is officially out of development. It is the master copy of the game has been sent to the disc manufacturers to start printing copies, and then they will start distributing those to game stores around the planet. Developers between the time that the game goes gold and the global release are going to be working on the day one patch. So you got a month to officially kind of clean up the game a little bit. That's why sometimes day one passes are like 10 gigs because their game is absolutely broken and they shipped it off broken. So sometimes you see, this is a little bit of a tangent. Sometimes you see pre-release footage. Like, for example, when No Man's Sky released, there was a copy that was leaked and put on eBay, and the game was very broken. But he defended it by saying, well, the day one patch wasn't out yet, so I'm sure a lot of these bugs will be fixed. They weren't, but...
Some were, but a lot
Some
weren't.
were, but yeah, that game was absolutely broken. So, we'll see. I have not seen I don't think reviews have come out. We'll probably wait a couple weeks to we'll see some God of War reviews when they start sending out review copies. Even though I don't think the first God of War sent out release copies. That might be a lie, but I think I remember that being a thing.
You do a bit of fibbing here.
I might do a little bit of fibbing. I could Google it. Review copies. No, they definitely got sent out review copies. I don't know what I'm thinking of, but it isn't God of War 2018. So, sorry for fibbing. I corrected myself. That's the second time I've gotten something wrong and then corrected myself.
That's crazy.
That's great.
At least you're correcting yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I could be spreading just...
Because we're not holding you accountable.
No. You know, I have so much journalistic integrity. I feel like I really gotta protect myself.
Yeah.
Cover my bases. I'm not gonna be like that journalist in The Wire season 5.
Of course.
A very specific reference.
It is very specific.
Kojima. Everybody loves Kojima. He has a podcast. I haven't listened to it. I have no interest in listening to the Hideo Kojima podcast because I feel like I would lose my mind. Listening to that man talk is like, I don't know, talking to like Christopher Nolan or something. It's like, you're way too out of it for me, my guy. But he makes some interesting things. Kojima famously made the Metal Gear Solid franchise, and then Konami kicked him out publicly and then denied him being able to accept the award for Metal Gear Solid 5. So he said, screw you, I'm making my own company. The logo is a scary Spartan guy with a skull. And then he made Death Stranding. And now he's making a new game with Microsoft. And Elle Fanning is going to be in it. Continuing with the tradition of putting Hollywood actors in video games, something that I am adamantly against. But I see why people do it. So,
I love Norman Dingus.
I have nothing against the actors that are put in video games. But I think there's always a but.
There's always a but.
I think it really limits character designers and the art that can kind of go into designing a good character when you just input whoever.
Maybe God shouldn't have designed Norman Dingus to look so good.
I have nothing against Norman Dingus. It happens all the time.
This guy Norman Dingus.
I like
Today
Norman
I will cause violence.
I honestly, I don't think I've seen Norman Dingus in anything. I know he's the Walking Dead guy. I have not seen the Walking Dead.
He's like only the Walking Dead guy.
Yeah.
I think that's like his only big thing.
He was also going to be in Silent Hills, a game that Kojima was making partnered with Konami until Konami kicked him out. And now everybody wants Silent Hills to come out even if Kojima's not attached, which means it's going to be bad. There's your update on gaming, I guess. Oh, he was in the Boondock Saints and Blade 2. So he's been around. Those are two great films. I have not seen Boondock Saints or Blade 2. I haven't seen the first Blade, actually. I probably should. I've heard it's pretty epic. Let's talk about show news. Okay, the only thing that we have to talk about with show news is this frickin' Velma trailer. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before, but HBO Max is making a...
I think we brought it up before.
I might have brought it up. I'll do a little update. Well, I mean, nothing, because we know little about it. HBO Max is making an adult Scooby-Doo animated show centering on Velma. It's called Velma. We got the first trailer for it. I know. Crazy stuff. Even though they already made a movie called Velma and Daphne in like 2018, nobody remembers that because it's like one of the only live-action Scooby-Doo movies that's like a musical, I think. It's weird. It's a weird movie. I implore everyone to look up funny YouTube videos about it because I'm sure they're out there somewhere. But we got this new animated series. It's been pretty controversial. I don't really care about it. I was interested in the premise of an adult Scooby-Doo thing, because although that's pretty much just like isn't that like Supernatural, or I don't know ghost shows or monster shows, except for River
Ghost
Monsters.
Hunters.
I guess Ghost Adventures is kind of
Ghost
like Scooby-Doo
Adventures.
with Zach
Yeah.
Baggins. I love
Yeah.
Zach Baggins. But my interest in it like immediately waned when I found out that Mindy Kaling, I don't know if she wrote and directed it, but she is Velma. I have nothing against Mindy Kaling as a person. She seems to be very delightful. I do not care for her comedy stylings. And maybe it's just because I've seen her in The Office and she was like my least favorite character in The Office. Maybe I just hold a grudge. And, maybe I need to give some of her stuff a shot. I don't know. But she's playing Velma. We got Constance Wu as Daphne. Sam Richardson as Norval, who I guess is Shaggy, but they
Norval.
named him Norval. I don't know why that is. And then we got Glenn Howerton as Fred, which that's a great cast.
I do like that
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Glenn Howerton, of course, is Dennis in Always Sunny. That's it. He was in season 1 of Fargo. AP Bio. That's it. That's all that Glenn Howerton has ever been in, except he's always in movies just in the background. And I think it's become a little bit controversial, this trailer, because they did a bunch of race swappies with the gang in accordance to who's voice acting them. So Mindy Kaling, Velma is now Indian, Constance Wu is now Asian, Sam Richardson, a.k.a. Shaggy, Norval is black. I don't
Fred's
know
a
why they
twink.
named... Yeah, Fred is a twink because Glenn Howerton is a twink.
Of course.
So, yeah, I don't care about that. I mean, I've talked about this. I talked about this when the Lord of the Rings show came out. I do not care about the races of characters. If you have an issue with it, that says more about you than it does the show. But if a show like goes out of their way to make like a diverse cast and they like Netflix movie it, then it kind of becomes distracting. In my opinion, but yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you should check your privilege, bro.
Maybe I should, but
Nah, this show looks bad.
I mean, it looks fine. Like the one joke we got was bad in the
Yeah.
trailer, but like, I don't know. Maybe the show will be better. I'm not gonna
Scooby-Doo
watch
in it, so like I'm not watching it.
So far, no Scooby-Doo, just Norval.
I thought that they
Norval's
weren't gonna
not
have
enough.
Scooby in the show at all.
I don't know. I have not.
Because they didn't
looked
know
it
how
up.
to write him for I'm pretty sure Scooby's not gonna appear in the show.
That would, yeah. Here's what you do. Okay. What would you do if you were going to design a Scooby-Doo adult show?
I'd do the same thing as the main series, but make it an adult show because it's already pretty good.
Yes. Okay. I was going to say get James Gunn to do it and then just let him go.
Do that.
Because he made those Scooby-Doo live-action movies, the first ones in the early 2000s. And
Those bang. They still bang.
they're great, but there's a lot holding them back. Like the CGI definitely has not aged very well.
Oh yeah.
Some of the jokes don't land, but James Gunn famously has been very vocal about the fact that the studio really kind of cracked down on what he could do with those movies. I would love to see a James Gunn Scooby-Doo movie. No reins, just let him go. Make him make the Suicide Squad, but for Scooby-Doo. I think it would be great. And I don't know if I would get Mindy Kaling, the office girl, to write it. That's all I'm gonna say.
The other Scooby-Doo thing looks really good though.
People are up in arms about that too.
Why? Because she's gay.
Because she's gay. Yes.
Oh, that's just a Fox News clip.
It's the Fox
I-
people.
I don't know. The animation on that looks sick though. Like
As far as
hand
I can
drawn,
tell,
frame by frame. It's sick.
if when it comes to like the 2D animated Scooby-Doo movies, for the most part, you can't go wrong. They
It
seem
looks
to be
so
pretty
good.
consistent throughout, except for maybe like the weird ones where it's like Scooby-Doo and
WWE
Kiss.
crossover. Yeah, those are
It's like,
kinda-
but
Yeah.
like the actual ones where they like have a story and it's like
Yeah,
a
they're
real
pretty good.
animated thing, they tend to be pretty solid. But yeah, people are really up in arms about Velma being gay. I do not care.
Almost been queer coded since the '60s. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's like the only one. Well, I guess Shaggy just loves food. He's probably asexual.
he's just a stoner.
Or maybe he's a bestiality guy. Maybe it's him and Scoob.
Maybe. I hope not.
Whoa.
They just never show it.
I think it's just a bromance.
Good.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Like the hit movie Bros.
Yeah, but not like no gay sex.
There's
Just
like
bromance.
barely gay sex in Bros.
Yeah, but yeah.
But the fact that it is there is something.
just to differentiate, I don't think Shaggy should bang the dog,
Okay.
but I think there could be some like cute flirty stuff that's like somewhat ironic, you know.
Between Scooby and Shaggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just have him
Hypothetically.
be like a buddy cop thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah,
Except
just
not
do
cops.
do a Fast and Furious 2, or they're just basically dating.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Yeah, I'm not interested in Scoob, that movie, and I'm not interested in Velma, really.
IP's going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Warner Brothers is really just like, hey, do what you want.
Anybody can make a Scooby-Doo.
Anybody can make a Scooby Doo, which I do kind of respect. I respect that over, like, how Disney really cracks the whip when it comes to like, who can make Marvel content and who can make Star Wars content. It's like, just let people tell stories, and if they contradict, who cares? It's fun.
Star Wars fans care.
Star Wars fans care. I guess.
True.
I don't care. I think it's just fun. Well, let's move on to
You're
movies.
like a reasonable Star Wars fan, though.
I'm a reasonable. I'm pretty into it, but I'm not the type of dude to tweet at Kelly Marie Tran.
You do go outside, though, sometimes.
Barely.
I said
Barely.
it was Star Wars fan.
Star Wars fans never go outside. They're chronically online.
Yes.
I listen to Crosby, Stills, and Nash and drink mushroom tea.
Yeah.
Nope. Legally, no.
Okay. And
Movie
illegally, no.
and illegally, no. I don't even know where to get that.
Yeah.
Someone let me know in the
I'm
comments.
sure you don't.
I know where to, yeah.
Let me know a legal place where I can buy
Legal?
magic
No way
mushroom.
you're getting that.
No, but someone will know. Someone in the comments, send me a link to Seth Rogen's mushroom company, and I'll try it out. But let's move on to movie news because we have a decent amount of movie news to talk about. I'll save the biggest thing for last, the thing that I'm most excited about. I feel like I might get some groans over what I'm most excited about, but we'll see.
All right.
Just you guys will have to play up your reactions and be like, yeah, that's a great thing. But first thing we got to talk about, Glass Onion.
Glass Onion.
Yes, the upcoming Ryan Johnson joint. It comes out on Christmas on Netflix, but there's this huge partnership. This is the first time a Netflix movie has gotten a wide theatrical release. So if you have access to, I believe, an AMC, a Cinemark, or a Regal Cinema, it's getting a wide release on Thanksgiving, which is like a whole month ahead.
Oh,
Tickets go live today, as of this podcast coming out. That is Monday, October 10th, 2022. And it's going to be that whole week for Thanksgiving. That's great. I'm very excited. The fact that one of my most, I think this is my most anticipated movie of the year. I have not seen any trailers for anything that has interested me as much as Glass Onion. The fact that I'm going to be able to see it like a month early, that's awesome. I love it. I think it's like 600 U.S. theaters, so hopefully one near me is picked, because then I will be a happy boy. And I wanted to take a brief tangent to talk about the news, all the stuff that has come out against Ryan Johnson.
The news.
I'm going to defend my boy because there have been serious allegations brought up against Ryan Johnson, and I am going to put my journalistic integrity on the line to defend him in the best way I know how.
I'm not affiliated with this man. I don't know what happened.
He's already lost the argument.
I'm setting it up in a
You've
way
lost
that
the radical me.
I'm setting it up in a way that it sounds like he did something really horrible, but in actuality, everyone's just been coming out saying that he's like the nicest dude ever.
Oh.
Yeah, Daniel
That's
Craig
pretty
did
bad,
like
I
an
don't know.
interview, and he's like, I will keep working with Ryan Johnson as long as he keeps calling my agent. I love this dude so much. He respects the cast and crew, and he like has a great workplace. And it's like, that's what I like to see. Please keep doing that, Ryan Johnson. Plus, Ryan Johnson is great friends with Edgar Wright, who also has a good reputation for being nice on set. So, keep it up. Keep it up, Hollywood. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Keep it up, you two directors. I speak about no other directors in relation to how they treat people on set. Most of all, David S. Russell. I think that's his name. That guy treats people very bad. Bet you didn't know that. Gonna go see Amsterdam because you're excited to see Margot Robbie and Christian Bale and John David Washington when the guy abuses people on set. So
Can't believe it.
he's the Jared Leto of directors.
Damaged.
Speaking of damaged, we got, I guess this is confirmation that The Flash is coming out. Ezra Miller, famous actor Ezra Miller, shot a day of pickups last week on the Warner Brothers lot for The
Let's
Flash.
go.
I guess
They're
it's
back,
coming
baby.
out. Coming back. I don't know how he did that legally, or they did that legally, because I'm pretty sure they're still wanted.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm pretty sure I saw that there's still a warrant out for good boy Ezra. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, oh, so it is happening. I thought that got canned. I was kind of hoping it got canned, just to watch the DC fanboys squirm a little bit, but I guess not. So, wah wah. This next one is a little bit weird, but I thought it was kind of funny. There is a film adaptation of the book The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. It got picked up by a studio, and it was originally Reylo fan fiction. That's Rey and
That's awesome.
Kylo Ren from the Star Wars Squeakquel trilogy. Yeah, I don't know. That was just kind of weird. Although, 50 Shades of Grey was originally Twilight fan fiction, and that has a whole film trilogy, so
That's true.
it happens.
Never kink shame.
Never. Well, it wasn't king shaming. I was just surprised that fan fiction made it on the silver screen. Not
True.
once, but twice. Now.
Probably at least 4 times.
At least 4 times. I know Stephanie Meyer's writing fan fiction where it's like, here's the Twilight books if it's from Edward's point of view. Here's the Twilight books if their genders were swapped. Which, by the way, is creepy.
Here's the Twilight books if they were furries.
She should do
That'd be
that.
a good one.
She should do it where they're swapped, where the vampires are werewolves and the werewolves are vampires.
Ooh, that'd be kind of good.
I'm sure someone's already done that. Although I'm sure someone's already done gender swapping and from Edward's point of view
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
Oh,
So.
for sure.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. But let's jump into some Nintendo movie news. We'll get to the
Nintendo.
trailer. More like Nintendo. Sega does what Nintendo don't. Okay, that's all I'll say
true.
about this Mario movie trailer.
True.
You see what if you. Nintendo has officially launched a website for their new Nintendo Pictures brand. I guess this is their new movie studio. Their slogan or their little tagline is, "This brand aims to produce unique and surprising video content based on Nintendo's IP." There's a website you can go to. It's nintendo-pictures.co.jp, which means that the entire page is in Japanese. But it's out there. So, there you go. I think this confirms that we are getting a Animal Crossing movie.
That's cool.
I love Animal Crossing.
I would love to see Tom Nook up on a silver
I want to
screen.
see Isabelle played by.
Who would you pick? Who's your dream cast for Isabelle?
I don't know why Jeanette McCurdy popped into my head. That was just the first person I thought of.
You know, I
It
could
was really
see
strange, but it could actually work.
I could see it, but I think it is unlikely, considering
Yeah.
she very
She doesn't wanna
publicly
Yeah.
is against acting.
I don't know, I feel like you could find a pretty good Isabelle casting.
Yeah. Well, the only one that's coming to my mind is Amy Poehler, and that's just because she kind of looks like Isabelle with the blonde hair and stuff.
True. Yeah.
Maybe we need someone that looks like the exact opposite of Isabelle so that it's funny, like Leslie Jones.
Oh.
That's
But she acts like Isabelle.
That's not a good casting. Do not do that. But yeah, let's talk about casting. We got the first Mario movie trailer. It was a minute and a half of pure bliss.
It was so good.
It was really good. I thought it was funny that they brought the penguins from Mario 64 in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to see one of them get chucked off a cliff.
Yeah, there was no death, unfortunately.
There was no death. I think it was implied when Bowser burned.
Yeah,
down
but I
the
want to see
entire
it. I
castle.
want to see everything.
You're not gonna see that in an Illumination.
I want to
movie.
see Jack Black rip a penguin in half.
Okay, now you're talking about something completely different. Not even Sony Pictures would show that, and they're the most risque animation company.
Yeah, they made the emoji movie.
They made the Emoji movie.
God.
That's the riskiest thing you could do.
It is. It is. Yeah. I think everyone kind of has the same opinion on this trailer.
Yeah.
Jack Black is really good. He's a great
Of
Bowser.
course. He's a great voice actor.
He is a great voice actor. Even though as Poe, he's just kind of doing like his voice. But this one, he like really, he
Tenacious
changed
D,
it. Well, that's
this
true.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's true. He's good. He's a great Bowser. I love him. I love Keegan Michael Key as Toad. I did not even realize that was Keegan Michael Key. I was like, oh wow, I forgot that he was Toad. Even the little bit of Charlie Day we got as Luigi, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Which I mean, I feel like I called that as soon as that cast went up. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect.
I was excited to hear. Luigi.
Charlie Day's perfect. Mario is bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Chris Pratt as Mario is really bad, which I think everyone knew going in. But it was hyped up because like as soon as all the backlash was coming in as Chris Pratt Mario, Chris Pratt was like in interviews being like, this voice I did for Mario, it's unlike anything you've ever heard. Like I really went above and beyond for this role. And then you get to the trailer and it's just his voice. He didn't do anything. He didn't even do an Italian accent, which like every other dub of the movie did.
This is offensive to me as a POC person of carbonara.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, were you offended by like the Brazilian dubs or like the French dub?
No, because those actually sounded really good.
Okay, so you were offended by Chris Pratt not doing the accent?
Yeah,
Okay,
I feel
Okay.
like it's Mario's thing, you know?
of course.
Yeah.
And Charles Martinet he's French,
Yeah, but he kills it.
but he's great. Yeah, weird move. I saw that there's a petition to get Charles Martinet to replace him. That's not gonna do anything, you stupid
Someone just
idiots.
pay Charles Matinee a million cameos and just have him recite every single line from the movie and then dub it over.
You know, I would love to see that. If they like, I don't know where this would even release. I don't know where Illumination
Release
movies
the
go.
Schneider cut.
I would love to see like a different version where like the Prey had like the English version and the Comanche version, where it's like one version with Chris Pratt and one version with the actual Mario voice actor. I would love that. I have been seeing people
Or like
say,
Idris Elba as Mario.
"Oh, there's someone completely." You know what?
Completely different.
How about you get like
I'd
an
take
actual
Idris Elba
Italian
over.
person?
Nah, that'd be too
No.
Not heard of.
risky.
You don't
That'd
think
be
so?
too risky.
Not
Yeah.
you don't want Robert De Niro as Mario.
That'd be pretty good.
I'd like that. I'd like that. They could do like an audio deep fake and get James Gandolfini to be Mario. He's like, "I'll get the fucking mushroom."
Mushroom.
I think that'd be good. Yeah, doesn't look good.
Anti-Italian discrimination.
Are you gonna join the Anti-Italian Defamation League?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a wise move.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone should sue the movie and then get the movie canceled.
Don't cancel it. Just replace the main
just
voice actor.
replace the main guy.
Because I'm interested. I'm in.
I'll watch it reluctantly, but I will watch it.
I'll watch it excitedly.
Okay. I'll have to decide whether or not I watch it day one for that podcast, which will be in the spring. We don't know a release day. We have a release window. But I don't even know if Nintendo has confidence in this, because they did their own studio, and then they like kind of publicly were like, we're not going to work with Illumination in the future. So that's not a good sign.
You could say they Nintendo don't have confidence.
You could say that. Nintendo's what Illumination does. Illumination.
You get it.
This is like that Garfield comic strip where it's like the oven of off of out joke.
Yeah. It's just so confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, the Mario movie is going to have some tough competition, because we got some info on the new Fnaf movie. Is this the bite of 87? Maybe.
I hope so.
Jim Henson's
been in the
company
works for,
is
like,
doing the
10 years.
animatronics. I don't know if that's a good... I think it's a good sign. Here's a bad sign. It's produced by Blumhouse. Wah, wah. Basically the fast food of horror movies. I
wouldn't expect there to be anything but for a FNAF movie.
Yes. Blumhouse is like the... it's like a trashy A24, where sometimes there's like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good movie. Like Get Out is a Blumhouse movie. It's crazy that Get Out is a Blumhouse movie, but it is. And then like other times it's like Paranormal Activity 7 or whatever. Like they just crank movies out, and most of them are garbage. It's mostly like a factory. So not a great sign, but you know, fine. Never mind. Filming is starting in spring of 2023. Dang it. Mario is gonna be fine. They're not gonna have competition with FNAF.
Good.
Good.
Mario wouldn't stand a chance.
I forgot who's directing it, but I think she's like she's an indie horror director, which is usually how Blumhouse works. There's like an indie darling that makes like 2 decent movies, and then Blumhouse picks them up, and then they make them churn out horrible stuff. That's also how like Marvel works. Marvel does that too. Star Wars doesn't do that because they don't make movies anymore. But I'm sure they would have if they kept making movies. So there we go, FNAF movie. And here's the thing I'm most excited about. Okay, the new Neil Breen movie's done. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. I'm going to be busy that weekend.
Yeah. Here's the tweet from Neil Breen himself. I have 100% completed my new theatrical feature film. My sixth! Space! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Don't have a website yet? It's amazing! Space! Exclamation point, exclamation point. You will love it. Very different. Follow me and I'll post updates. Film festivals, here we come. Thanks for the indie support. Space! Exclamation point, exclamation point.
Nice.
I'm pumped.
You know, good for him. Good for him.
Good for Neil. I don't know how his last thing did. Not Twisted Pair. Twisted Pair did great. But
So bad.
you haven't seen it yet.
Wait, we didn't watch them?
Every time I
watched
try to
them.
bring it up, nobody wants to watch it.
I wonder why.
Because it's fun.
We watched through freaking Double Dash
Double
or whatever.
Down's bad.
That was the worst movie I've ever seen, and I think you like completely killed everybody's like Neil Breen viewing experiences.
Well, I think because we started with the best one. I should have ended with
Yeah.
Fateful Findings. If we did Double Down first and then went into Fateful Findings, I think that would
Well,
have been
then
better.
you'd see some improvement, but
Yeah.
like it'd be not chronological at all.
I don't think we did chronological. I think we did Fateful Findings first because I found that movie and I thought it was funny. And then it was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we watched these guys' other movies? So we did Double Down and Pass Through, both of which were really bad.
Really bad.
Although Pass Through did have its moments.
Yeah, that's true. Double Down was just
Double Down was awful.
really nothing of a movie.
Twisted Pair is weird. It's a weird in between like Fateful Findings and Pass Through, where he's kind of gone off on his libertarian fantasy, but he's also super against AI, and the CGI is really bad, which makes it really funny, and there are highlight scenes. I think anytime Neil Breen directs an actor to act, it's the funniest thing ever because he might be the worst director of all time. Or he just has the worst actors that sign on to be on his movies, which is equally possible. So, yeah, maybe one day when y'all forget how bad Double Down and Pass Through were, maybe we'll watch Twisted Pair. I think it's pretty funny. Not as good as Fateful Findings, but it might be my second favorite of his, actually.
Next time you're down here, just hit me up and we'd watch it. We don't need baby.
You would just watch a Neil Breen movie with me?
Sure, why not?
I'll be down in 2 weeks.
2 weeks? I won't be down in 2 weeks.
Oh,
The heck
well,
you
you
doing
can.
in
I
2
could
weeks?
come down in 2 weeks.
You could come down in 2 weeks. Hint, hint.
Okay, fine. We'll watch Twisted Pair. You've twisted my hand.
You've twisted my pear.
You've twisted my pear. I would never say that. Yeah, so maybe we'll have a thing for Twisted Pair a couple weeks, but who knows? And then I want to quickly talk about a movie that I saw yesterday that has changed my life forever. And it is Fateful Findings. I watched it again. I didn't realize how many corrupt politicians and businessmen there were until I watched Fateful Findings.
Crazy.
It turned me into a libertarian. I don't think that driver's licenses need to be a thing. I think they're something that the government is enforcing on us that is bad. And they're probably tracking us through our driver's licenses. There's probably little chips in there. That's why I cut mine in half, actually. Tried to find it. I couldn't find anything, but it's probably just really small. Need a
They should
microscope.
be protected under First Amendment.
Yeah, it should be freedom of driving without a license, I think.
Yeah,
Should be.
exactly.
No, but I saw a movie called Hereditary, an A24 joint.
yeah.
I didn't know it was an A24 joint until it started, and I'm like, oh crap, this is going to be
Of
weird.
course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew very little about the movie going in, which was a bad move.
Yep.
I should probably preface, I am probably the biggest weenie when it comes to horror movies. I have tried to watch The Evil Dead
I was surprised that you were like, I'm gonna go watch Hereditary. I'm like, all right.
Good luck.
Well, yeah.
I wasn't gonna question it because I feel like you had to get talked into it anyways.
I did not have to get talked into it. I just went on my own accord.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
I didn't know anything about it. And I'm like, okay. There's this huge gap in my movie knowledge, and it is horror movies. I've seen the classics. I've seen The Shining and Silence of the Lambs and Halloween, Quiet Place, the classics. But I have not seen a lot of modern horror or 2000s, 2010s horror. I've seen a lot of the old stuff. I can handle the old stuff for the most part, unless it's The Evil Dead. I know it's the campiest movie of all time, but the special effects are really good, and it freaks me out. But I knew that Hereditary it's kind of known as one of the scariest movies of all time. At least it kind of has that reputation now. A lot of people compare it to The Shining. And I'm like, oh, I like The Shining. The Shining, I think, is one of the best movies of all time. And I'm not a horror movie guy. That movie's not even really scary, but it's a great horror movie. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go watch Hereditary. There's not a single jump scare in the entire movie. There's one part where a bird hits a window, but that's not really a jump scare in the traditional sense.
That's real life.
That's real life.
Too real.
I detest jump scares, and I think when it comes to horror movies, I think jump scares are insanely cheap and really bad. Like they're not a good way to establish a horror atmosphere. Because what's so great about these classic horror movies like The Shining or Silence of the Lambs, there's not like a big spooky face that jumps on the screen and then a loud noise plays. It's establishing this really creepy atmosphere where you're not entirely sure what's going on, and it's a little eerie, and there's a guy with an axe. I think there's a guy with an axe in both movies. It's been a while since I've seen Silence of the Lambs, but I went into this one. I think I do get the Shining parallels, except it's like the inverse of The Shining, if that makes any sense. Shining, it's Jack Torrance, who's Jack Nicholson, just slowly deteriorating mentally over the course of like 3 hours until this huge climax at the end. This movie is pretty much that. Toni Collette plays the mom. I love Toni Collette. Toni Collette's great. You know her from Knives Out. She played the hippie mom. That's Toni Collette. She is a fantastic actor. I've not seen her in a lot, but I've seen her in Little Miss Sunshine, Knives Out, and this, and she's fantastic in all those movies. I love her very much. So she plays the mom. There's a dude from The Usual Suspects who plays the dad. He's like been in nothing else but those two movies. And then she has a son and a daughter, and the movie starts. The grandmother, who is Toni Collette's mom, she dies and leaves a bunch of stuff to Toni Collette. And so then over the course of the movie, stuff comes out. The rumor come out. Is scary grandma is dead? Hard to say. Very hard to say. But in the movie, it's not like Toni Collette's not the one going crazy. It's like the whole entire world is going crazy. And she's kind of like the anchor. Where it's like, it's hard to watch because there's a lot of like gaslighting and betrayal and gatekeeping and girl bossing. She's not a girl boss, unfortunately.
Dang.
Although, you know what? Actually, yeah, she is.
Okay.
She's an artist who her whole thing is that she designs like miniatures of like different scenes. I don't know exactly.
Funko Pops.
Not like that. But they're like very personal events. So like one of the things she's working on the beginning of the movie is that she's making like a miniature hospice that's like all the rooms, and then it's like her and her mom in hospice. So it's like a kind of a way for her to work out her grief a little bit. And then so then over the course of the movie, those miniatures are kind of like framing devices where it's like, these are the things that she's worried about. These are the things that she's thinking about. And there's like crazy twists and turns. I think I audibly gasped like 5 times, like legitimately. I have never been more
Crazy.
touched by a movie ever. The ending of the movie is legitimately one of the scariest and most intense things I have ever seen. And I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. Honestly, it might be perfect. It's a fantastic movie. It does.
Would you say it's perfect?
I don't know. I need to watch it again, but
Oh, of course you do.
because I think it's gonna be one of those where I watch it over and I'm gonna start noticing things, and it's gonna be one of those. And I love movies like that. It's like why I love like American Psycho, or why can't I think of a single other movie that does that?
The Minions 2.
The Minions 2. Man, I'm really slacking. Oh, The Sixth Sense. How did I not immediately think of that one?
Avatar: The Last Airbender
Avatar.
live action.
The M. Night Shyamalan joint.
You really notice how bad it is on the second watch.
I honestly, on the first
First
watch,
one, you're just in denial, but the second watch is when it really sits in.
I don't think we watched that movie on the Boy Time channel, didn't we?
Yeah, and I've seen it before then, so watching it the second time was a lot worse than the first time.
Because the first time I saw it was before I saw the show, and I thought that the movie was pretty decent.
It's a war crime.
But when I was a kid, I was like 10 or something when that movie came out.
Integrity gone.
Integrity's gone. I didn't like it the second time. That makes you feel better.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I implore everyone to go watch Hereditary. If you are like me and is very, very picky about your horror movies, not a fan of jump scares, but you're a fan of the kind of atmosphere and the very spooky elements, then watch this movie. It's great, and it's not very long. I think it's like 1:50, so it's better than any movie I've ever seen.
2:50.
Oh, it's 2 hours and 7 minutes, but it goes by so fast. I absolutely mean that. Next, I'll watch Midsummer.
Oh,
That's another A24 joint.
yeah. That one looks really scary.
I know, but I love Ari Aster. Wait, hold up. Is this the guy? Bruh, how did it... Okay, so that's the same dude. The same dude did Midsummer and Hereditary. Now I gotta see it.
Yeah.
There's no way. How do you follow up that movie?
People talk about Midsummer just as much,
That's crazy.
if not more.
Okay, so he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Okay. It's crazy that he did Hereditary in 2018 and then Midsummer 1 year later.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Okay, yeah, he's definitely one to look out for. He has a movie coming out next year called Disappointment Boulevard.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Yes, so watch Hereditary. Great film. And then I'll pass it on over to Babby for music segment.
Well, my God. There's not really a lot at all.
What?
I listened to like the first 4 songs of Bjork on the drive back, and I couldn't get into it. I feel like I need to sit down and listen to that with headphones. I don't think the car is the right environment for that. So
Probably not.
knowing when to stop is always good. So I will re-listen to that this week, probably, if I feel like it.
Okay.
It's not going anywhere. The new King Gizzard record's pretty great. We'll have a video out on that soon. DM.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Come on, say something.
Carly Rae Jepsen released a song. Didn't listen to it yet.
Coward.
Just-
Oh, we got the Taylor Swift track list.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Did you not know that?
I'm seeing it now. Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, she's doing a duet with Lana Del Rey.
Interesting. Yeah, these look like Taylor Swift song titles.
Uh-huh.
So that's pretty much all you have to say about that. I don't think there's anything else to add.
No, there's nothing really. But the first single's going to be that Lana Del Rey one.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Kevin has said that the last Brockhampton album is coming this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think No Cap was the title. Don't know if that's still the title.
I don't think that album cover is real.
On Album of the Year, the album has now changed to Album That Is Finished and Ready to Go. So I really hope that is the album title.
That would be a good album.
So, yeah, that'll be coming eventually. Nickelback's got an album coming out next month. I'm super excited for that one, right? Personally,
That's awesome.
I mean, with this album cover, I'm so excited. It's got like it looks like one of those shirts that you get in Florida at like a surf shop with like really bad souvenir shirts. It's just like a really weird van. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, that's a bad album cover. It's live reaction.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Live reaction. So that'll be coming if anybody's interested in that.
Are we going to do a reaction to it?
That could be interesting.
I don't want to do that.
It could be interesting.
How long is it?
I don't know. We don't have any info on it.
It comes out on
We just know that
November
it's coming
18th.
out. Yeah, that's pretty much all we know. These albums are way out for release dates. Never mind. I was going to talk about some of those, but those are like too far out to even talk about. In terms of things I've listened to, the new Billy Woods record is growing on me so much. I feel like that happens with most of these, but oh my god, this thing keeps raising in my rankings. So, really, really, really good record. I've been jamming it way more than I thought I would be. The only other thing I really listened to this week was Whirr, WHIRR. I listened to their 2012 album Sway. We actually just got a request to do their 2019 record.
What? We did?
So I'm kind of ahead of the curve here.
When did that happen?
But yeah, this is pretty sick. Like a couple weeks ago, I think, or a week ago or something. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I need to listen to it more. Very heavy on shoegazy type stuff. They label themselves as a punk band. I could see that. But it's heavy. It's what I want for stuff like this. It's just a part of my brain that I like. So, yeah, there's some ambient sections in it. It's kind of chill. Tracks are kind of like spread out on longer lengths, which I always like. But yeah, pretty good record. I'm excited if we do a video on the other stuff. I think I put that record on my list as well.
Okay. I have not added it to
where
the
I put
fan
it.
wheel, so I must not have seen that one.
Whenever we heart comments, it disappears for the other person, so it's hard to.
No, I have the review status as
Oh, okay.
any of them.
Unless that person deleted it.
It's possible. I am not seeing it. But I'll keep
If so,
looking. You
I have
keep
it on
talking
mine,
about
so.
great music.
Great music. Yeah, but this is a pretty good record. Need to listen to it more. I think that's it. That's literally all I did all week was just listen to the stuff that has already come out.
That's it. You
yeah.
call yourself a true music nerd?
Yep, I do.
Wow. Yes. Yes, I
Yes,
do.
I do. I'm just enjoying everything. There's a lot of good stuff out. So
Yes, I've been enjoying. I'm still listening to the Denzel Curry Deluxe. I'm
yeah,
still
that too.
listening to freaking Paper Mache Dream Balloon video coming out later today. This one's a good one.
Don't
Our
miss
other
it.
videos are bad.
Those all suck.
They're so bad. I think I did. I thought I did some funny edits. I don't know. I got up really
I
early.
don't remember.
I got up really early this morning, and then I couldn't go back to bed, so then I just edited.
You
the
just
video.
edited a video. That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So I don't
Yeah,
remember, but I remember that there's something funny in it. So
But taking a step back, enjoying music as you should, instead of just
No.
blowing through it for content. So kind of chilling, listening to all these records. Yeah. I mean, we might do a fan marathon again in the next coming months or so. So
yeah, it'll be coming up relatively soon. Probably
Yeah.
before the month is out, I would say.
yeah, I think that's fair. We're at the beginning of this month, so
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. We have a ton of stuff on that wheel. So
Yes, I have to add a bunch of stuff to the wheel too. It's gonna
Yeah.
be that website's gonna break.
probably
So
that's everything.
okay,
It's kind of a slow week.
that's so sad.
What's that? The last week was like too much.
Yeah, yeah,
I was into
that's
like
true.
5 albums in one day last week.
Yeah, I guess we need that time to kind of
Yeah.
chill. Yeah. So, great podcast, everyone. Be sure to sign the petition to get Charles Martinet to beat a Mario. And then we'll reconvene back next week.
Okay.
Do you have any closing words for our audience, Paul?
3,